I don't know why. I seem a little off angle there. That looks a little better framed. Why, thank you. I already got one like on here. I appreciate that. Um, Before this gets started, I just want to mention to anyone who is watching the replay that if you don't see the chat, so you might not know what I'm referring to when something gets said, um, it's because YouTube's taken a while to get adjusted and is kind of out of sync. So it usually takes, I think, about 24 hours for it to come up. And now I know I forgot to turn off my speakers, so now I'm going to get some noise. Scotland, gloom. Yeah, it's gloomy here too, Dormouse. Very rainy. Why is this? There I go. Okay. But I hope that you're doing well. I mean, aside from it being gloomy, I still feel like I'm off center here. Not that it really matters. I always seem off center. But we will give it a few more minutes for anyone else to come in. Now, is it rainy there, Dormouse, or is it just like a little drizzly, a little overcast kind of thing? Because you guys are 5 hours ahead of us, I believe, so it's 7 o'clock. Hello, Patricia, Staten Island. Lovely to have you here. Okay, we have 9 people now. Oh, you saw the Northern Lights? Wow. Um, yeah, I saw they were talking about the Northern Lights were going to be visible, and I really was hoping I'd see it, but no, not at all. Hi, Kim. How are you doing? Hope all is going well. And let's see. So I know I mentioned while we're waiting for other people, I mentioned in a few previous lives ago how I was having trouble because I used the Wendy's app to try to get food, and they ended up taking the money out twice for food I didn't get. And I still haven't gotten my money back. It's been like 2 months, so I'm really getting annoyed. I contacted the bank again because they're trying to get that back for me, but I think I'm going to contact Wendy's corporate office again and see if they will respond to me this time because 2 months is ridiculous. I'm doing pretty good, Kim. Not too bad. I was going to be doing a yard sale today, trying to sell some stuff from Paul's aunt's house. She passed a few months back, and it's just too rainy. We decided to put it off until next week, which is one thing I did want to bring up. I decided that I'm going to do these lives probably every other week rather than every week, just because Saturdays, sometimes we do have other obligations. So I figured I wouldn't pressure myself, which I tend to do, by trying to do these so frequently. I mean, not that once a week is that frequent, but, you know. Oh, there's supposed to be more activity. Yeah, I was thinking, Dormouse, that maybe I should cut because like the news stations do those consumer aid things where it's like you let them know you're having a problem and they try to help you solve it. I was actually even considering doing that. Hello, Gina. Um, yeah, because that's like they owe me like $70, which may not seem like a lot, but when you're on a fixed income, it's a lot. I'm like halfway through the month and I think I have like $3 left in my account. So the $70 would be helpful. I'm just waiting for my little bit of YouTube money to pop in, I think around the 21st, 22nd. Um, I don't get much. I usually get maybe $100 every 3, 4 months. So it's not much, but it helps. So Gina, what have you been making out of the cookbook this time? Gina's been going through the cookbook, posting all sorts of things. Like, I don't know if she's made anything other than my recipes lately. Although I did see that you did do someone else's. So um, that's fine. I don't feel any animosity toward them. Um, but yeah, I was surprised. It seemed like every meal you were doing something from the cookbook. But I am glad that you and your parents are appreciating the uh, the food. Well, tonight we're having. Oh, I had that the other day, the patty melt, and yeah, I like to make those often for especially for lunch because it's like nice and warm, got a little melty cheese in there, so those are really good. Um, all right, so not a lot of attendance, but I'm gonna just plod right into first my weigh-in, which I was actually surprised. I didn't lose, but I didn't gain. I stayed the same. Didn't have a great week as far as sticking to the plan, but that happens. And I'm just surprised that I was status quo, nothing changed. Yeah, Dormouse, mine is due to my disability as well because of my neuropathy and myopathy. It's so random, so intense at times that I just can't work. So I had to rely on my Social Security and my pension, and they don't really give you much, especially with all of the inflation we've had since COVID. Um, oh yeah, the chickpea fritters. I just finished the last of them up for lunch yesterday. I really do enjoy them, and they're a bit easier to make than falafels, which aren't difficult. It's just a little bit of a longer process. Although I was considering doing a version of falafels as well. Um, but it is a bit more intensive because you have to start with the dry beans, you have to soak them overnight, process them. So chickpea fritters are a quicker alternative with the same basic flavors. But, and the topic that I chose for this week is going to be weight loss fluctuations, which is a little odd considering I didn't have a fluctuation this week. I was very level from last week. So, but I know a lot of people have issues with fluctuations or at least get kind of anxious when they see those fluctuations pop up because you are so good, you're on plan, and then suddenly your weight goes up. It's like, what is going on? Why is this going up? So I thought that that is the topic that I would cover today, since I like to have a topic so I have something to talk about. I can't just talk about what I'm doing because for the most part, I'm not doing a lot. I'm usually at home, so it's not like I go out and have all sorts of adventures. But the fluctuations, I found an article which actually looks like a hello, how are you? Um, it actually looks like it's for some sort of a weight loss drink, I think it is. But the information that they have was good. It's called Juniper. I don't know what exactly they sell. I know they do have at one point in here some, yeah, shake one off, some sort of a shake, I guess, like, um, what do you call them? What are those shakes called? Um, why am I blanking out? Anyways, you know those diet shakes that I'm talking about. Anyways, but the information was still good. 88, I think it was 70, actually I can tell right here. Oh no, it's 58 today. It was 71 or something yesterday. It's 58 here today and rainy. So not the best for doing things outside, which, as I said, I was going to be doing a tag sale. That's off the charts now, off the charts, off the calendar. Anyway, so about weight loss and weight fluctuations. This is 8 reasons you might experience fluctuations and how to manage it. I also have something from Healthy that touches on a couple of other things to do with weight fluctuations, so I'll cover that as well. But it's set, and feel free to chime in with questions or what have you as I'm going along. I will try to keep up. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up for this live before I forget about that. Okay, so when you're on a weight loss journey, a weight fluctuation can feel disheartening when you've gained weight. And we've all been there, especially, like I said, you've stuck to your plan all night, all week, and it's just crazy. Oh, it's 51 in Scotland? I mean, 58, we're not that far off, and you're a little later in the day. We'll probably be there around the same time. The key to weight fluctuations is to remember that they are a human experience. Everyone on the planet deals with daily fluctuations in their weight, and if you're in the process of losing weight and have experienced increasing days of fluctuations that lean into weight gain, we're here to help. So, how much can weight fluctuate in a day? It's common for your weight to fluctuate up to 2 to 3 kilos. Okay, so they must be in the UK or somewhere that uses kilos, because I'm not sure what kilos are in pounds. So let me check that out, because I think I read elsewhere that it was 3 to 5 pounds, and it might be in the Healthy app email. No, that one doesn't say. Okay, 3 kilos, 2 pounds is, okay, so 6.5. So I guess that seems to be like 4 to 6 pounds, it looks like, which is quite a jump. And that's each day, because throughout the day, you're going to gain weight as you eat food, as you do different things. Different things are going to impact your weight. This gain is influenced by what food you eat and when, as well as what you drink, the exercise you do, and sleep can even play a role. So getting sleep, as we mentioned previously in other chats about weight loss, getting enough rest is definitely helpful, especially for like late night snacking. Apparently, there's a correlation there as well. So why does weight fluctuate daily? If you're wondering whether daily fluctuations are normal, the short answer is yes. There's nothing to worry about if you're experiencing small changes to your weight each day. Your day-to-day weight changes largely depend on the food and drinks you consume. Salty food can cause fluid retention, which affects the number on the scales and may make them slightly higher. So if you are having something that's salty, that you may see more of an impact on your weight if you've eaten something salty before your weigh-in day than you would ordinarily. So it might be a good idea to watch your salt intake a day or two before you do your weigh-in. Carbohydrates can also cause your body to hold on to water, leading to water weight and bloating. This increase in your weight can stick around until the bloating subsides. So apparently the carbohydrates, I guess like bread, can soak up liquids and kind of hold on to it for a bit. So that is another factor. Exercise can help reduce weight, but if you're adequately hydrating post-workout, it may not result in weight loss on the scales thanks to your water intake. Bowel movements, on the other hand, can cause your weight to decrease a little after you've gone to the bathroom. Stephanie, there you are. I was wondering if you would stop in, and I have your channel all ready to share. So Stephanie is from the UK, and she is doing Slimming World, which a lot of you may not have heard of. Dormouse, you may know Slimming World because it seems more of a UK thing. But there is Stephanie's channel if you want to check her out. And hopefully, Stephanie, things are going well with Ian. Her husband was having a few little health issues, but hopefully things are back to normal. We were just talking, Stephanie, about weight fluctuations and what can cause them. So slow and steady, yeah. I mean, sometimes that's all you can hope for. So I'm glad things are at least progressing positively. Also, another thing I wanted to mention while they were talking about exercise, muscle weighs more than fat. So if you have been working out, yes, menopause as well, Stephanie. If you've been working out and you notice your weight's going up, it could be because you're increasing your muscle mass, and muscle weighs more than fat. So if you have gained any muscle, that could be a reason for an increase in your weight as well, a fluctuation. I agree, Dormouse. I don't think there are some people I know who weigh daily or at least twice a week. I'm with you. I try only to do once a week, and that is one of the things. Oh, you are doing Slimming World, Dormouse? Oh, okay. So you might even know Stephanie's channel. We're in a group called Slim Win on Facebook, which is a bunch of people who are doing Slimming World, but also people who, like myself, who are not, who are in the US, who are doing other things, Weight Watchers, Healthy, what have you. Okay, so. Oh yeah, sodium for sure, Kim. But I didn't think about caffeine. I suppose, different things also affect different people in different ways. So something that may not affect me may affect you. Something that may help me lose weight might not be the same for someone else. So there definitely a big thing about knowing your own body and knowing what kind of things you react to, what your body, and that's part of the reason why keeping a food journal is very helpful, because if you go through and you've I've gained weight this week, you can look back and say, oh, I had this, maybe that's what's been doing it, because maybe you try a week without a certain something and see if you still have the same effect. Let's see, you might notice major weight fluctuations if your diet has changed after losing weight, or if old habits have crept in and you're snacking more. Yeah, see, I track, Stephanie, but for me, writing everything down is a little too tedious for me. And I know that that's why I can't count calories, because if I have to monitor every single thing, that won't work for me. And I know it won't. I will give up because I'll get too frustrated. I don't know if it's my ADD, something just doesn't allow me to focus and, you know, do that for a consistent time. I might try it, and then within a week I'm not doing it anymore. But for those who can, I think it's a great way of looking back and seeing, what did I eat this week that may have affected my weight gain. Yeah, calorie counting, I can't do it. That's why it's like WW really helped, because they had zero bite foods that I did not have to count. Oh, there's Ro. How are you, Ro? I have your channel as well ready to go so I can share that with everyone. Stephanie is here, and I shared her channel, and this is Ro's channel. She's also doing Slimming World, but she's based here in the US. She is in New York. Um, so, you know, it's not just people in the UK who are doing Slimming World, although I guess it's easier for them because they have more access to all of that stuff. They have access to meetings that I guess they don't here in the US. But Ro has been having some success with that. Skeleton food diary, jot my breakfast lunch plans at least day before, so if the plan changes, I can adjust. That's a good idea, Dormouse. Um, yeah, and even planning food, I'm not great. Paul will say to me at 3 o'clock, "What's for dinner?" I have no idea. I tend to wing it based on what my mood is. So pre-planning is not actually something I can manage either, just because I'm very spontaneous, very whim-based. Oh yeah, tracking burnout, I get that, Ro. I actually didn't track very much last week, which is why I was expecting a gain, but I actually, as I mentioned earlier, stayed the same as the week before, so I'll take that as a win. Oh, you go to WW each week, the meetings, so that you still have that interaction. Yeah, for a lot of people, that interaction, especially live interaction, is very helpful, very important. Personally, like I said, when I first started WW back in March of 2020, I was able to go to one meeting before COVID shut everything down. So luckily, I hadn't been relying on the meetings, so it came out to work for my benefit, but a lot of people I know got thrown off once the meetings were no longer in person. Okay. So let's see where we were. Research has also suggested that weight tends to go up on weekends due to a change in eating or exercise. Or you do the someone chats. Yeah, see, that was easier for me because I tend to be a bit of an introvert. So being in a group of people, especially people I don't know, is a little awkward sometimes. But so doing online was better for me. A 2013 study of 48 healthy adults found that participants consistently gained weight on weekend days, but not on weekdays. And I'm sure we can all know why, because the weekends are when there are fewer things to do. You're not at work, you don't have a regimented schedule, so it's a little easier to overeat. That's also when there are parties and barbecues or things like that. So it makes sense that you would gain weight over the weekends. This was attributed to higher dietary intake on Saturdays, coupled with less physical activity on Sundays, compared to weekdays. This demonstrates how your lifestyle behaviors can cause weight fluctuations and hinder weight loss. Oh, that is a good idea, Dormouse. Putting it on the planner on the fridge so that it's not, surprise, here's what you're getting. Yeah, see, that's great, Ro, that you have people that you know. And I did get to know a lot of them during the online chats, which was great. And I still am in touch with a lot of them through Facebook and things, even though I'm no longer part of WW. All right. So what contributes to weight fluctuations? You can experience small changes in your weight over the course of a single day for many reasons. And yeah, from morning to night, there's definitely going to be an increase because we have been eating all day. We've been drinking all day. So yeah, your weight is obviously going to fluctuate throughout the day. And you can experience things that contribute to your weight fluctuating are, as we mentioned, consuming salty foods. If you haven't had a bowel movement, your body is reacting to stress that your body can take on chemicals that can take on things that react. Carbs for sure. Yep, we were talking about. Here's the next one is you've eaten a meal high in carbs. You've consumed alcohol because alcohol can definitely affect it. You're having a drink, you don't realize how many calories are in that drink. You're dehydrated or overhydrated. So if you're dehydrated, you're not going to have as much weight because you're not drinking enough. And if you're overhydrated, the same thing. Your body is responding to heat. So if it's an especially hot day and you don't have air conditioning, that can affect it. And again, if you haven't had enough sleep. All of these moving parts, which can cause weight gain or weight loss, are why it's recommended that you don't weigh yourself at random times of the day, as your weight will be highly influenced by the above factors. Now, I'm sure many of you do the same time every day. That's why the meetings that you would attend to get weighed are always at the same time. Oh, for sure, Ro. Weekends are the hardest part because, like I said, it's less regimented. Like today, Paul and I slept in. We tend to stay up late anyways, but Paul and I slept in. I didn't get out of bed till like 10:30. I was a lazy bones today, but I got plenty of sleep and I feel really good. Well, not over dehydrated, Stephanie, but overhydrated, where you've drank too much water. But you can definitely be dehydrated, and that will affect your body in many ways, headaches and things like that, for one thing. Yeah, Rose says headaches, hunger, lethargy. But I don't know if any of you know this, but you can actually die from drinking too much water. There are people who have actually been on that hydration train, like, oh, I have to keep hydrated, I have to keep hydrated, and actually died because their bodies couldn't handle, I guess their cells burst from too much hydration or something like that. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Nikki. Oh, Nikki's here. Let me grab Nikki's channel. Also, she is also over in the UK. And Nikki, you're doing Slimming World also, right? I believe. Here's Nikki's channel. right there if you want to check her out. She's often showing her food. Um, yeah, it's amazing. I never thought, Stephanie, that you could die from drinking too much water, but apparently there is a tipping point where it's just too much and your body can't take it. Okay, so let's see. It's my biggest is when life gets mad busy. I just miss meals. Yeah. Um, yeah, and that's another thing because Dormouse, if you are having to skip meals because you just too much, that may be great seeming in the short term, but then later it's like, oh my God, I didn't have enough calories today. So you're doing calorie counting. Okay, Nikki. Yeah, I thought you weren't on Slimming World, but I wasn't entirely sure. I get too many people jumbled up in my head. Um, yeah, I'm I had never heard that before a few years back, Dormouse, about overhydrating, and it's very different. Um, yeah, I mean, I drink. My friend Wendy, who I was hoping would show up today but did not, made me this mug. Um, it's not really a mug; it's a gigantic tumbler. Um, and I usually have like two of these in a day, so that way I know I've gotten all of the water I should. Plus, it helps me to keep hydrated. It helps me to not want to snack because I'm having something. Sometimes, like we mentioned, when you might want to snack, it may just be that you just need a little bit of water. It wasn't a very nice gift. She's been selling them and she was nice enough to actually send me that. How many ounces is this? I don't want to spill my drink out of it, but um, I know I can fit, I think it's 40 ounces because um, I have these, I believe they're 20-ounce bottles that I fill up two of those with water, put one drink mix in it, because if I put one drink mix in with 20 ounces, it's just way too sweet for me. So I like to dilute it. Um, so I think it's probably 40 ounces. Oh no, Ro. I didn't know that. Are you, because you weren't used to how much you should be drinking after the surgery, I assume? Um, Better late than never, BB Boomy. Um, no worries. And I did mention if anyone joins, like watches the replay, and you want to follow along with the chat, you might want to wait like 24 hours because for some reason the chat doesn't show up right away with the live stream. I don't know why, but that's YouTube. Okay, so back to weight fluctuations. It is also important to remember that the number on the scale can change regularly as weight loss is not a linear process. We all know that. That's why it's a journey, not a destination, because you're going to be taking twists and turns all the way around. You'll have days where your weight increases and other days where it decreases. And you'll probably experience days or even weeks where your weight stays the same. This is called a weight plateau. We've all been there, and can be extremely frustrating when you're continuing with all of your healthy habits but not seeing any change. That's right, Stephanie. All we can do is our best. And that's the one thing I did mention many times in on my channel is I used to, when I'd reach my goal weight, okay, I'm done, I've reached it. That's it. And then I go back into the same old habits. So this is the first time that I reach my goal weight, but I am still trying to manage my eating in the same way. It's a lifestyle now. It's not, just a little, oh, I need 3 months to get this weight off and then I'm back to normal. That doesn't work, at least for most people. Because once you go back to those old eating habits, the weight comes back on. What role does the menstrual cycle play in your weight fluctuations? This does not pertain to me. I know that's a surprise, but I'm sure it relates to many that watch my channel. So weight gain before and during your period is a common experience for many women, and there are a number of reasons why this happens. Firstly, your appetite tends to change throughout your menstrual cycle and at certain times over the month. You may experience an increased or decreased appetite. When your appetite is increased, you may experience a small change in your weight as you may be eating more. The same goes for cravings. Women tend to crave foods that are high in carbohydrates and fat during certain phases of the menstrual cycle, and it's common to take in more calories during these times. The final factor is water retention. Bloating is a common symptom connected to your period, and when combined with the consumption of salty foods, it could cause the numbers on the scale to slightly increase. To help combat this, try to fill your plate with lots of veggies and fruits where possible, and remember to stay hydrated to help reduce the bloatedness. Having enough hydration will help to flush out some of the salt and actually help get rid of some of the water retention. I know I saw some chat going by, so let me just catch up if I missed anything. Oh, once a month, Nikki. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, and like we all know, you have to do what works for you. These people who I don't understand how people can weigh themselves daily, because that would make me insane. Because you're going to see a lot more fluctuation than if you just do your weekly or even monthly weigh-in, and you can see actually where you are after a period of time, not, just every day. That would make me insane. Yeah, a better relationship with food is for sure what we need. It's amazing how quick your taste buds change. I have a savory, not sweet tooth. A segment of chocolate for the first time since December. It was awful. So sweet, so won't go back for more. It's very interesting how everybody craves something different, Dormouse, because I will actually crave something sweet, but then, like you, once I have it, I'm like, yeah, was that really worth it? And part of that could be that it's not always something that is on my plan. So that's why a lot of my recipes, and if you have the cookbook, you'll see that dessert section and snacks is a much bigger section than any of the other sections, because I needed to find ways to satisfy a sweet tooth without feeling guilty after having something sweet. Steroids, Kathy, definitely can cause a lot of bloat. And I think that's one of the things that we will mention in this article is medications and things like that. I know steroids is one, antidepressants. I'm on an antidepressant, and I told my doctor, because I've been on and off them for years, and one of the reasons I continually got off of them was because I would get the bloat. And I told my doctor this time, I need to be on something, but if it's going to make me bloat, I'm not going to stick to it, so don't give it to me. So he ended up giving me bupropion, which I guess is actually to help curb smoking. I forget what the like commercial name for it is, um, but I lost my weight while I was on that. So, and I guess I've read somewhere where some places actually will give that to people to lose weight, but um, it didn't really help me to lose weight, but it definitely didn't help by giving me any of that antidepressant bloat. Um, oh, Nikki, that could be menopause. We were talking about that earlier. Because, I mean, anything that's going to change your body chemistry has got to affect you in some way like that. The nurse at doctor's was not happy I declined to be weighed in midweek. I let her look at my weight reduction progress on the app. Hey, that I don't blame you, Dormouse. I feel the same way. The one thing I don't quite get is like I've gone to doctors where it's like rather than weighing you, they'll ask you if you know what your weight was. I could tell you anything. Why are you relying on me? But going through the app, that would actually show the progress. Let's see. Yeah, um, I was on blood pressure medication, Nikki. Once I lost the weight, I was able to get off the blood pressure medication, the diabetes medication, and my CPAP, my sleep apnea mask. So it's definitely worth having lost the weight to be off of all those medications and especially that mask. I hated that thing. Um, that's what the name is, Wellbutrin. Thank you, Ro. Um, yeah, yeah, okay. I knew there was a name that I would be recognized more than bupropion, but I couldn't remember it. Oh, I couldn't stand it. I mean, I got used to it. I'm claustrophobic, Stephanie, so having that thing on took a lot of getting used to. And I was just so glad not to have to wear that anymore. Um, all right, so where was I? Yeah, for sure, Nikki. Losing the weight definitely will. I'm almost positive, unless there's some other reason for your blood pressure going being up, losing the weight should definitely help you to get off of those. All right, so the next part, what if my weight is starting to go up? That's okay. I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's part of life. That's what's going to happen at some point. The good thing is that you noticed a change on the scale and in your body. So now is a great time to stop and take a moment and reflect on your progress so far. Has anything changed recently that could have influenced the weight gain? Are you doing anything differently? Here are a few things that might be affecting your weight loss results. Hormonal changes, such as menopause. You haven't been as active. Some old habits have crept in, which I'm sure we've all been there. Winging it with portion sizes. I know that after a while, I've gotten to the point where I was like, I know what this should look like by now, so I'm not going to weigh it. And slowly you add a little bit more each time. Yeah, usually anything with because of a medication, supposedly once you get accustomed to the medication and it kind of your body is okay, I know what's happening with this thing now, it will sometimes go back to what it was before the medication, or at least closer. Um, as we said, increase in stress levels can cause gain and not getting enough sleep. It's normal to gain weight. Your body is in a constant state of flux and is changing every day. So try not to stress about this too much. Now is the time to get back to basics and recommit to your healthy eating habits. Yeah, I mean, we've all slipped back into old habits, kind of like, especially once you're comfortable, once you know, okay, I've lost a lot of weight. I know what I should be doing. I kind of can eyeball everything. Um, but that can sometimes lead you back into those old habits. Um, yeah, for sure, Ro. Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. Um, because, I mean, like I said, I'll try something, say, ooh, I really want that, whatever it is, cupcake or whatever it is. And then half the time I'm like, that wasn't really as satisfying as it was in my head. And, you know, then I'm wishing I hadn't had it, but can't do anything about it then. Lack of sleep worry doesn't help, but um, yeah, for sure, Stephanie. I, I am honestly amazed, Stephanie, with your you are so steadfast. You're doing so great with all of the things that you still have to do with taking care of Ian and everything. So I really do commend you for still being able to not let it all just throw up your hands and forget about it. I find it challenging as husband is serving up meal portion huge, so get plates in the cupboard and bought smaller size. Yep. Um, and that was one of the things we had talked about somewhere in one of the lives, I believe, is get smaller plates because then your food looks like more and psychologically your condition, because if you get a big plate and then you see all these blank spots, it's like, wait a minute, why am I not getting enough food here? So smaller plates is definitely helpful, especially if someone you know likes to portion over. Hey, go back for seconds if you really feel like it. But also chewing more slowly, taking smaller bites, that really helps a lot as well. Um, Nikki, I've been struggling these past few days. I'm going to try mindful eating for a bit so I don't get as stressed. Yeah, and I think a lot of it, especially if we start getting too regimented in what we're doing, it can just get like, I can't do this anymore. So I think mindful eating is a great thing to try because you get to um, kind of like see if you can do what you know you should be doing in an intuitive way. So I think that would be great because not everybody weighs everything, nor should we have to. So being mindful of what we're eating. Um, let's see. Do that, being mindful with food and everything in moderation. Okay, let's see. Managing weight fluctuations. Losing weight is rarely a straightforward endeavor. Did anyone of us think that it was a straightforward endeavor? I know I didn't. So try to take it a day at a time. But there are a few things you can do to manage weight fluctuations. When to weigh yourself. Your weight is influenced by everything from exercise to illness, alcohol intake, and water consumption. That's why it's recommended that you weigh yourself at the same time every day or every week to avoid getting huge discrepancies. For example, if you weigh yourself as soon as you wake up in the morning, continue doing so at this time of the day. That's when I usually do it. I get up, I will fix Paul's breakfast before he has to start work, and then I will weigh myself. So I do the same time every day, every Friday. Friday is my weigh-in day. Try weighing yourself without shoes and clothes if you can. If you're at a Weight Watchers meeting or Slimming World meeting, I don't suggest that. Or wear similar garments when hopping on the scales each day. Weighing yourself at the same time of day will help you to get an accurate representation of where you're at with your weight and help you jump back on the weight loss train. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on some of the chat. And oh yeah, Dormouse, I can imagine being confined to bed would not make it easy. Now that you're sitting up at a food table, it's much more enjoyable and takes longer to eat. Yeah, because I mean, I can't imagine being confined and having to eat in that way, confined to your bed. So I'm glad that you're able to sit up and actually enjoy your food more. Take a little bit of time with it. Okay, I think we have. Okay, I'm caught up on the chat. So, a healthy helping hand. If you're dealing with a fluctuation where you've gained weight, you might want to try something new to help kickstart your weight loss once again. So it could be changing your plan. So I know there are people who have they've been on WW Blue and then they changed to green, trying to just change things up. So it kind of like resets your mind. You're more attentive to what you're doing just by changing something up. Get back to basics. Another way to help combat major changes in your weight is to get back to basics. This will look different for each person, but start by reflecting on any changes that might have occurred recently. From here, you can discern what might be influencing some weight gain and what makes changes accordingly. For example, if you haven't been as active lately, it might be helpful to book a few classes at the gym or schedule some walking dates with a friend. If afternoon snacking has become a regular occurrence, Ro, you and I know all about late night snacking at least, it might be time to change what you're snacking on or make your lunchtime meal more filling, or dinner, or what have you. While weight fluctuations are normal, they can be frustrating when you're on a weight loss journey. Try to remember that every choice you're making now is contributing to a healthier you. And that is all that was in that. And that was from, as I mentioned earlier, something called Juniper's Nourish Shakes. I don't know if it seems like it's a UK thing because of the spelling of flavors with a U in there, and the fact that they use kilos. I don't know if any of you have heard of Juniper's Nourish Shakes. I am not advertising them. I don't know what they are, but I did think that their information was good on weight fluctuations. And then in the healthy email, it's just a short little thing, basically talking about what we discussed, but 6 reasons that your weight may fluctuate. They had a lot of the same ones. Water retention. As I said, muscle gain. Muscle weighs more than fat, so if you gain muscle, that could be affecting your weight going up. Also, and I wish Wendy were here, my pal Wendy, because digestive system, the contents of your digestive system can significantly impact your weight on a daily basis. She's been having some health issues in the digestive area, and her weight has been going up. So those kinds of things can definitely impact it, as can, of course, again, sodium intake, menstrual cycle, and illness or injury, whether it's the injury or illness itself or the medications that you have to take to combat it. But now that I have done with the little topic, let me try to catch up with the. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of talk about undies that I'm not sure I should be seeing. I am a delicate soul that should not be hearing such things or reading such things in this case. Slimming World. Dormouse. You're not saying in public you've seen them strip down to get weighed, have you? I would be shocked. I'd also be intrigued, depending on who they were, but shocked. Yeah, Ro, I'm with you. Stephanie, are you saying delicate does not seem to fit me? I mean, look at this face. How could you say that? I'm kidding, because I will, in probably TMI moment, I know I saw Rose saying she weighed in her natural skin after a wee. I go a step further and I will remain on the toilet long enough to try to make sure I get rid of anything that may increase my weight. I actually created a meme one time of this woman running through a field, like so ecstatic, and I put being able to weigh in after you've managed to poo. That's the feeling. When I've been like, oh, thank God I got rid of that and I can weigh in. That's helpful. When I can't, it's a little disappointing, but I still do it. Thank you, Nikki. I know, I am so, if you ask Paul, I don't know if he'd say I was innocent, but I really am. Oh my God, Dormouse, I can't believe that. Wow. I do weigh in once a week, Kathy. I weigh in Friday mornings. I used to do Saturday mornings, but then Paul would sometimes say, it's Friday, let's order food for dinner and blah, blah, blah. And rather than weighing in after doing that, I figured I'd weigh in before doing that. So I now weigh in Friday mornings, and then I pop on here now. And I think I'm going to do these lives every 2 weeks. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I think I did, because I know next week we're going to try to do another tag sale, flea market, whatever you call it, garage sale, to try to sell some of the stuff from Paul's aunt's house. So that's going to be on Saturday. And even though I think we're going till about 1, I don't want to have to rush. And so I do need some Saturdays free. So I'm going to do these lives every other week instead. But yes, anyway, Kathy, I got distracted. I do weigh in once a week, Friday mornings, usually about 9:30 or so. I lost 20 this week, 0.20. Went to Weight Watchers weigh-in and it showed 2-pound gain. Delicate. Thank you, bro. You know, Delicate Flower was my name in college. No, it wasn't. Let's see. My weigh-in is try and get on scales and off before a standard poodle tries to join me. Yeah, having a poodle join you, Dormouse, would probably not be helpful, not be accurate at any rate. You don't want 33 kilograms added to that. Paul is in the other room. He won't appear. He did appear in one live once. It was a surprise to everyone. So you'll have to look back at early lives to, I think it was maybe the second or third one I've ever done. But he did make an appearance. I don't know if he would be willing to come on here. You want me to? I don't even remember what the hell I'm supposed to be asking him. Am I supposed to be asking him if I'm a delicate flower? Yeah, I'm with you, Ro. What the? Why is Stephanie talking about the car boot? I know that means trunk to us. But did I miss something about a trunk? Oh yeah, Dormouse, you do not want 72 pounds added onto your, um, okay. I will see if he will answer the question from behind the camera. But, oh, if I'm innocent. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me see, speak amongst yourselves. Let me see if he will come out and assure you all from behind the camera that I am innocent. Oh, I was just coming to look at that piece. Well, I'm still on there, but they wanted you to come and, even if you say from behind the camera, I was telling them how innocent I am, and they said, ask Paul, tell him on camera. All right, so I've asked, I don't know if he's going to come over here yet. He had to go use the facilities before he did. He was glad that I gave him a moment. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, that's right, I have heard that before. Stephanie, sometimes I lose track of what I'm thinking, so yeah, car boot sale, I have heard that before. Although I wonder why. Are people actually selling things out of their car boot, their trunk? Well, Paul is not here yet, Nikki. So, and he may decide he doesn't want to reveal the truth. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so anyways, we're going to be doing that. And, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I do like doing it. I feel a little, I used to go to tag sales all the time, garage sales, whatever. And I used to love it. But then I started buying things I really didn't need. So now I try to sell things that I really don't want anymore and that maybe someone else doesn't need. Yeah, so I have, actually, we were going to do it today, but there was rain. So I have a table in the back of my truck, and I luckily didn't cart anything else out there. We're going to do it next week instead. Okay, so everyone's saying hi to you, and they want to know how innocent and pure I am.
Roy told me to tell you under threat that he's very innocent.
There were no threats involved.
Oh, of course not. No threats.
No threats. He knows that I am innocent. They called me a delicate flower, and I think you would agree.
Oh my God.
Okay, I don't think he agrees with that. But anyway, he is running away. He doesn't want to get more involved in any of this than he has to be. But yes, he's so nice, very kind, especially claiming that I threatened him. Yeah, I tried doing some stuff on eBay, and also I've used Facebook Marketplace. The one problem with eBay is if I have to mail anything, it just gets too much. So I like using Facebook Marketplace, although, um, oh, I will be paying for that later. Yes, Stephanie, indeed. Whether it's financially or something else, I don't know. I will be paying, believe me. Thank you, Nikki. See, I knew you were my friends. Speaking of being friends, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on this live, I would appreciate it. And we have gone a little bit over the hour, which is fine with me. I don't have anything to do. We're having a nice little chat about selling our things. Vinted seems to be a growing place to sell things as well. I've never heard of that one. But yes, a good chit chat, chin wag, as you say. Yeah, for sure. But I think that I will leave it there. If you're part of the Facebook group, I am going to be doing a meeting on Monday night, 7:30, but I'm trying a new meeting. It's not even an app, it's a website. So I'm going to try that. It's called Jitsi Meet. And so I'm hoping that's going to be easier to use than Zoom because you don't have to download anything. Seems like a lot of great features on there. So fingers crossed if you join me for that meeting from the Facebook group. Okay, Nikki. Plans for my Saturday? I don't know. I actually experimented this morning with some banana pancakes, which I thought came out pretty good. But for the rest of the day, I'm not sure. I might catch up on some of my true crime shows that I have. I'm also trying to work a little bit on a website for my stepson and help him with that. So I do have a few things I can do, but I don't have anything specific. Wow, Dormouse, you have a little concert going on outside. Oh, you like true crime too, Stephanie? Oh, you too, Kathy. Yeah, I love true crime. Paul worries a little bit, which is probably why he felt threatened to say that I was innocent. No, we don't have cicadas here, but I did watch my friend Jennifer Lynn. She started doing more YouTube videos again, and she went outside, and the noise was like horrific. I thank God we don't have them here where I am in Massachusetts. That would be nuts. I don't think I could stand that noise. Oh, you have them there, Kathy? Oh, yeah. I heard they were very noisy, but until I heard them on Jennifer Lynn's video, I didn't realize how noisy they were. Oh, we should start a whole new true crime group. Ro and Stephanie, Kathy. I don't know what it would be. Weight loss for true crime? I don't know. Yeah, it's quiet here too, except for a little rain, Stephanie. But, oh, I can't even imagine. Yeah, we should come up with some sort of a group that we can do something with true crime. Yeah, we'll have to brainstorm that maybe on the next Slim Win chat, we can talk a little bit more about that when we can actually talk. Or if you show up well, you won't show up for the Monday meeting I'm having because it'll be like 12:30 at night for you guys. Hey, oh God. Oh, Dormouse loves true crime too. Oh my God. If anything ever happens to someone that I know people are going to be looking at me because they're going to say, he studied up on this. He knows all about it. So yeah, I think I need to be worried if they actually watch the podcasts I listen to, the shows I watch, the websites I've gone on. Oh, awesome, Stephanie. I'm glad Ian was able to get out. Yeah, Ro, it's going to be 7:30 Monday night. I'm going to share the link to the Jitsi meet. I honestly think it's going to be so much better, so much easier, I hope, than using Zoom. Because a lot of people have difficulty getting into Zoom and whatnot. So, oh yeah, the trials. There's a show, Kathy, I don't know if you've seen it. I think now I can't remember the name of it. I just watched it the other day. Like Killer Cases, I think it is. And the first half is the police investigation, and then the second half is the trial aspect of it. So that is really interesting to see like the whole case kind of in one episode from beginning to end. Yeah, we'll definitely have to come up with some sort of a true crime group. I think that would be fun. Oh, I'm sure, Stephanie, because I know if I mean, I have issues not as bad, I'm sure, as Ian's, but just from walking down to the mailbox and coming back up, I'll be a little winded. My muscles aren't, I mean, I go shopping and I come home, and just from doing that, my muscles are all out of whack. So, yeah, I do too, Stephanie. The films based on true stories, unless they've been overdone. Like there are some stories that I've heard over and over so much that I don't want to see them again or hear about them. That I just can't. But yeah, oh, I totally get that, Dormouse. We were having problems with the Facebook group because you have to kind of start a chat and then you go to the live from there, the video. And a lot of people were getting annoyed by having this constant chat going on that they didn't want, even though they wanted to be part of the meeting, the live meeting. So that got annoying. So then I said, okay, let's do Zoom. But then some people can't get Zoom to work correctly. Or, they try to log in, they have trouble. So I'm hoping that this Jitsi Meet is the perfect solution to all of that, because it seems perfect because, like I said, you don't have to download anything. It's a website that you're going to be going to. And you can do it through your phone as well if you are elsewhere and want to join on your phone. And they do have a phone app, but you don't have to use it. So that's what I like about it. I'm just praying it works well once we're all in a meeting. Yeah. Oh, I totally get that, Stephanie. I mean, because his body, even those little exertions are much bigger than they would be for someone else. So I totally, totally get that. Oh, I totally get that. Ow. I totally get that, Dormouse. I see I'm having a issue with my arm right now. Yeah, it's like amazing. Like the things that I used to be able to do that I now cannot do, it's, you know, disheartening, but you kind of, just like with the weight loss, you kind of have to just move on, have a little gain, move on. I agree, Stephanie. And the one good thing about the Jitsi meat is it does have a little button you can press that shows a hand raise. So I could say, who's tried this, whatever it is. And people could raise their hands and I could see how many. Or if someone wanted to get my attention or interrupt, they could raise their hand. The other good thing is everybody can mute their microphone and you don't have to unmute it. You just have to hold the space bar to talk. And then once you let go of the space bar, you are muted again. So I think it's going to be great. I hope it is. We shall see. Oh yeah, Stephanie, I'm sure. I'm sure. But I'm glad he didn't end up getting COVID or anything while he was at the hospital because I know he was around quite a few who had it. For sure, Dormouse, that is for sure. Especially early on when this was first happening, when I was first getting all these cramps and things and I had no idea what was going on, you do go through a mourning period where it's like, this is my life now. And things have, I mean, with the weight loss, I've been able to manage a little better. But it's like still not what I was able to do before. Even just walking up the steps, going to the grocery store, like I said, later that day, my muscles will be like, what did you do? Yeah, Stephanie, we for sure need a magic wand. For sure. Ow. See, I can never know, like my arms will be comfortable like in one position for a while and then my muscles are like, nope, you've been here too long. So now they're starting to give me a little issue. But it's been almost in here in my lovely recipes with Roy tumbler. It is water, but it's got a drink mix in it. But I only use one. It's like one of those sugar-free drink mixes. I use one in this 40-ounce, whatever it is, container because I think they're too strong, too sweet if you don't. Oh, hi, Roberta. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, I totally need to. Yeah, I mean, I can drink it, Stephanie, but it's just not as good. I'm less likely to drink as much as I should if I drink it plain. But drinking it like this, like I said, one packet is diluted in what should be 2 bottles of water worth. It definitely helps me to get the water that I need. Because like I said, I'll go through like 2 of those in a day, which is a lot more water than I used to get. So for sure. All right. But I guess unless anyone else has anything they'd like to share, any questions they'd like to ask. Oh, yeah. You might want to check. I don't know if they do it, Stephanie, but a lot of companies now will have on their website where to locate it, where to find it. I don't know if they do, but I've found a lot of ingredients, a lot of things I've been looking for just by using those store locator apps. So that might be That might be something you can check, but they're really tasty. I mean, I love coconut. So, oh yeah, and that definitely makes a difference, Dormouse, is where you're living, how their water is. Well, I'm glad that you guys were able to hang out with me and chat. We had a lovely little chat today. Hopefully, people who are watching this in the replay will enjoy it as well. And like I said, I won't be here next week. I'll do it again in 2 weeks. I'm going to do it just every 2 weeks. Um, so you don't get tired of me, you know, can't have that happening. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you all for joining me. I will hopefully see you in 2 weeks' time. Some of you I will see otherwise, and I will discuss with many of you starting some sort of true crime group so that we can get something else going. So I will start that and offer invitations to whoever wants them. But anyway, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day or night in the UK. And until next time, bye.